Hello all and welcome to the Enlightened Path. I am Ayana Nicole and today's video is not a reading. As you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be a little bit of insight into who I am as a reader and the current evolution that I am now going through. So let's just call it a little bit of a story time, okay? I started reading when I was pregnant with my son. My son is currently 8. I purchased my cards a few years before my pregnancy, and I don't know exactly why I purchased the cards. Well, I know now, clearly. But at the time, I would have never thought that 10 years later, I would be where I am today and running the Enlightened Path, okay? This was not something that I planned. I actually had been working in human resources for quite a while and figured that I had found my career or my calling, as some would say, and I was totally wrong, okay? As much as I loved HR, as much as I still love human resources, that wasn't my calling, or it wasn't my only calling. Excuse me guys if it's blurring. Okay, there we are. So yeah, I started reading during my pregnancy, and at first I was just kind of playing around with it, and then I started to get calls and people saying that I was accurate, and I still had no idea how any of this worked. And for years, I went on doing readings for absolutely free because I had no idea what I was doing or what I was tapping into. I was never afraid. I grew up in a church, so I knew what prophets and I knew what prophets were. I knew what psychics were, and I knew that people had gifts, and I knew I wasn't a bad person. I knew that I was loved and that I loved my creator, and I saw it as a gift that helped other people. So I did what I felt I was supposed to do. I never thought that I would make it a profession, and I never thought that the gift would grow as it's done already. And this brings me to today. For those of you that have been with the Enlightened Path over the last year, you probably noticed recently that the readings have changed. And the reason the readings have changed is because my gifts are changing. Now I don't just read the story. Tarot to me has always been a story in a spread. Each card is a page, and each page is significant in the story, whether it is the past, the present, the character that is the main, and the surrounding co-characters within this story. That is what spreads have always been to me. I read the story as it is presented to me, and I tell you what I see, okay? Now, things are a little different. Over the last couple of months, it's not just reading. Now there are messages that are a lot clearer. As far as hearing, and now there are flashes of images. So as I say this to you guys, I feel I feel that it is awesome that my gifts are expanding because it will help many people. That is the spiritual side of me, and the flesh that is in the physical reality is a little nervous because I'm just like anyone that is watching this video, and imagine being in a job, doing this job, the job growing, and you not knowing where the job is going. There is a little bit of excitement. Well, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of gratitude because and now I'm able to help in more detail and more understanding. But there's also some nervousness, okay? Because I don't know exactly where I'm going. So the spreads are different now because the instructions are different. One of the things that you need to understand about me as a reader is I'm obedient. Point blank, period. So when my guides tell me, do it this way, Ayana does it this way. That's just what it is. I was instructed and very much led to change my spreads from the traditional Celtic cross, the 10 card spread that I've been doing since day one on this channel, to doing them the way that I'm doing now. And that was just to get more messages. I think that it is a gift for you guys. I know some of you are like, you like the old reading style. I want you to know I like the old reading style too. But please be patient. And please know that I don't know if it's going to change again. I don't know what's to come. I am simply on my journey and following the breadcrumbs with faith that I'll end up where I'm supposed to be. I'm no different from any of you guys. So I follow the same advice that I give in general readings and in personal readings. You have to have faith, and you need to be obedient even when you don't know where you're being led to. Okay? So what I'm going to start doing is the general readings, and I've been told that this is okay. So for those of you that like the 10 card spread, I am going to go back to the 10 card for general readings. But for love, I am going to keep the new way of doing it with multiple messages. I think that it is going to be this way because 90% of the personal readings that I take are about love. Especially now with Venus in retrograde, people's energies are so powerful right now when it comes to how they're loving, and more so how they're being loved by others, especially in intimate relationships. I think that this change was kicked in because it was needed. More people needed to hear messages that weren't the same right now. And like I said, even when I don't get it, guys, my job is to serve. I'm obedient when I'm told to change things up. And half of the times, I don't know why I'm changing things up. I am in my own evolution, hence the title of the video. I am within my evolution as far as my own expansion, and I do not know where this expansion is taking me, but I will continue to stay on YouTube for as long as I'm told to stay on YouTube. So once again, I don't know what changes are to come. And it's exciting, but it's scary. I don't even like to use the word scary because fear is the lower vibration. Y'all don't get me started, but I'm human just like you. You see me and I deliver the messages, and I want to give you a heads up. I'm not this smart. I tell you what my guides instruct me to tell you before every single reading that you see me do on YouTube. I ask that all blocks are removed, that I am used as an instrument to give you the message that you're supposed to receive for those that need to receive it, that are going to be tuning in. That's what I ask for. I'm just not that smart. I'm just going to be honest with you. I was at a psychic fair earlier this month here in Atlanta, getting my own messages from other people that are just like me. Some of you will say, well, why wouldn't you read yourself? That's not how it works for me. It's not how it works for a lot of readers. A lot of the times you need another guide. It's like a therapist needs a therapist. Well, a channeler or a reader most of the times will need someone else to read for them. It's something about your own emotions when you're going through something that will block the messages, or at least it is for me. So I wanted to take the time to give you guys a inside look as to who you're tuning into every month, or every 2 weeks, whenever I'm putting out videos, or who you are booking a personal reading with. And I also wanted to explain the changes that the channel is going through, because I know for some the changes are uncomfortable. And I also wanted you to know that it's a little uncomfortable for me too, but once again, I do as I'm told. And right now, what I'm told, I hear it clearer than I did a year ago. I see it better than I saw a year ago. I didn't see images when reading. That's the evolution. I had to sit down with someone that I didn't even know at a psychic fair for her to explain that I'm not losing my mind, that our gifts expand. Just as I was getting comfortable, there's expansion and it's growth. And sometimes growth is uncomfortable, and sometimes growth is scary. I'm just like you. So I invite you guys to leave questions in the comment section. You guys that have been on this channel forever, since it started, I go through my comments and I answer questions and I respond. And I so appreciate those that check in every month. Juicy Red, Susan Johnson, you guys every single month check in with so much love. And there's so many others. Forgive me if I'm drawing a blank, but know that I know who you are. And I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your love. All comments aren't nice comments. comments. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. And those that check in and are continuously leaving comments, even if you've never booked a reading, I am telling you right now, thank you so much. You know, stepping out with a gift that you are still kind of learning and growing into. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and I'm still amazed at the messages that come through and how they resonate, especially during general readings. You know, those moments where I'm told this is for a specific person, and then I hear from that specific person. It is amazing how spirit works to me. So when you step onto a platform such as YouTube and you put yourself out there, it's such a humbling experience, and it's quite scary. It is quite scary. You guys have made this first year amazing for me. And I've grown into a comfort that I was nowhere near when I first started YouTube. There were so many people in my life that had no idea that I read cards, no idea that I was intuitive or an empath. I think some of them thought that I was just smart. Once again, I'm not that smart. My guides are the intelligence. My guides are the knowledge that fall out of my mouth. There's a Yana Nicole that you guys see, and then there's Yan. And I'm going to tell you, Yan is walking through life just like you, trying to figure it out every day, stumbling and falling, hurting herself sometimes when she falls on her face. The messages that you get that are intelligent and enlightening and brilliant, those come from the complete surrender that happens when I sit down to do a reading. So I'm going to wrap it up. We're at 18 minutes. Again, if you have any questions about the changes that are going on with me, any changes that you've seen that I have not addressed in the channel, or just any questions about what you've heard on this video, leave them in the comments. As long as they are not ignorant questions, this is John. As long as they're not ignorant questions, I'll answer. And for those of you where there are serious questions, I will do my best to answer them in a way that brings even more enlightenment where this video lacked it, okay? So with that, I'm going to now jump into November general readings so that you can get even more messages from my brilliant guys, because again, I'm not that smart. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I hope that it wasn't too long and that it gave you some insight into who I am and the journey that I'm on. Take care, guys, and I will see you in the general readings.